And first tonight, questions about animal care at a longtime nature sanctuary. It is now mired in a dispute over the safety and also welfare of the animals that live there. Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Todd Quinones.
And I'm Trisha Keene. And tonight, 13 Chief Investigator Darcy Spears uncovers loopholes in oversight that leave animal welfare in a blind spot.
I emptied that building of some of the most disgusting things I've probably ever touched.
Ailey Vanderbush was the executive director at Gilcrease Nature Sanctuary. Recently, she quit out of frustration and in protest. Former employees and volunteers also say they were pushed out for backing her attempts to change things for the better.
I mean, the buildings just stunk. You walk in and it was like getting blasted in the face.
Ailey says the 300 plus animals are at risk.
I'm sure some of the injuries that have happened in the past have literally probably been mice chewing at bird feet.
She and other former insiders told 13 Investigates that leadership on the board of directors kept them from bringing the place up to date and fixing problems.
I would notice an animal not eating. Oh, don't worry about it. It's a fat bird. Or she's just always been like that.
While a USDA inspection from October of last year shows no non-compliant items identified, inspections do confirm problems going back to 2016 and 2017, including a goat pen that contained dirty, brownish-colored water and excessive amounts of feces on top of straw bedding. USDA also found animals in need of nail and hoof care. But Ailey says not all animals are protected. Loopholes in oversight create an ongoing underlying problem.
Birds, reptiles, amphibians, fish have nobody.
And although Gilcrease Nature Sanctuary is a licensed exhibitor with the USDA, government-required standards are extremely minimal.
To ensure that animals are receiving a very basic level of care that sometimes just includes, minimal space requirements, food, access to food and water.
Dan Ash of the Association of Zoos and Aquariums says quality of life can be overlooked with government oversight focused only on basic needs.
A lot of times that means it's barely passable. And usually in the animal care business, if I'm just saying, well, what I'm doing here is legal, then that's just a kind way of saying it's barely passable.
The AZA accredits animal facilities that adhere to a higher standard. Gilcrease is not AZA accredited.
Our standards look at animal health and wellness, veterinary care, animal care generally. They look at your work in conservation, research, education, guest service. They look at your governance structure, your finance.
We reached out to state agencies that deal with animals. The Nevada Department of Wildlife says it doesn't have any records of investigations at Gilcrease, and the only required permit is for Bambi, this mule deer. They point to a Nevada law showing a variety of species, more than 50 animals, which appear to fall through the cracks of regulation. They range from small creatures like hamsters, gerbils, aquarium fish, and canaries to the other end of the size spectrum. Yaks, zebras, camels, even elephants may be possessed without a license or permit from the state of Nevada. The list also includes many of the animals at Gilcrease, such as emus, parrots, llamas, ducks, and geese. We asked the Nevada Department of Agriculture about sanctuaries. They told us we do not license, inspect, or otherwise monitor those kinds of facilities.
Just because a facility is called a sanctuary doesn't insulate it from the same kind of problems that we might see in what we would call a roadside zoo or animal attraction.
The city of Las Vegas says none of the animals kept at this sanctuary need a permit from animal control, but authorities have followed up on complaints. 13 Investigates obtained animal control reports for Gilcrease going back to 2013 when officers responded to a report of a dead emu and 2 dead goats. They were told the deceased goats were found in the morning and buried on property next door. The emu died after it was attacked by 2 other emus. It was also buried on the property next door. Animal control documents also show Gilcrease guests, including a child, have been bitten by a goat and pony. Advocates say it's past time to close the loopholes.
We don't have any laws. That's what's wrong. Every year we go to the legislature, present a bill. It's very well done, and we can't get it out of committee.
The former Gilcrease insiders fear animals will continue to suffer until the law is changed.
And USDA conditions are a place to start, but they are by no means
A high standard.
a high standard. It's not what you should achieve to be.
The board president declined to make any comment, and no one at Gilcrease would agree to take us on a tour of the facility, so we cannot show you how the animals are doing. Darcy Spears, 13 investigates.
Now, we do have an update to this investigation. While nobody would consent to an interview, the director at Gilcrease posted a video response online. It is right there on the Gilcrease YouTube page if you do want to see it. Now, late this afternoon, after that post, we again asked for an interview and also an opportunity to tour the facilities, and were declined.